Hello my Bandicoot and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be discussing how Dr. Neo Cortex is a factory set up on the planet Teknee. If this is your first time coming to the channel, I release Crash Bandicoot content every weekend. I discuss theories, lore, I'll get an interview in every once in a while, I'll talk news, I'll do some tier lists. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, maybe consider subscribing. That all said, let's jump back into the topic. Cortex having a factory set up on an alien planet. So if you're unfamiliar with planet Teknee, it first appeared in Crash Nitro Kart, and then the level itself reappeared in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. When you start the level, right away you're greeted with an emblem of a lab assistant that looks awfully similar to Cortex's lab assistants. And if you check out the conveyor belts, you'll actually see the androids with the N on their chests, proving that they're the same androids that Cortex makes in the Neodyne portion of his lab. And if you still didn't think that was sufficient evidence, we even have a monitor next to the scanner that also has Cortex's N on it. So these androids are one and the same. They are Cortex's androids being made way off on an alien planet. So then I wanted to see if we had any more evidence of Cortex being on these alien planets, and sure enough, we do. On the track Android Alley, Cortex's robotical scrubber robots, are seen at the end of the track. So, yeah, Cortex's robots are also on a different level. And if you go to the level Tiny Temple, which is on Terra, not Teknee, you also have more statues of lab assistants. So, not only is Cortex have a base set up on Teknee, but the androids are known on different planets. So you have Terra and Teknee that have objects linked to Cortex on them. In the grand scheme of things, when you think about it, it's not too outlandish to think that Cortex has traveled to different planets, because he has had space stations, he's had the satellite, he has the UFO. Cortex easily could have traveled to different planets. But what if I told you we had been to Teknee before Crash Nitro Kart? This is where we get into the theory portion of the video, because everything I've said right now can't really be disputed. We have Cortex, his androids on different alien planets, and we have his different space stations of sorts. But now I'm going to show you my theory as to where I think we originally visited planet Teknee. So this is taken from Electron Avenue, and it is another level on Teknee. And I would like to show you another image that looks very similar to this landscape. In Crash Bandicoot Warped, the future levels, Future Frenzy, Future Tense, and I believe the last one was called Gone Tomorrow. All of these levels bear a striking resemblance to Teknee. So now I wanted to see if I could find anything in the levels themselves that were similar to the things that we encounter in Assembly Lane. So in Crash Bandicoot Warped, we have the conveyor belts. And sure enough, in Assembly Lane, there's a conveyor belt right there. And here's a better shot of it. So there's a conveyor belt on Assembly Lane. And there's also a conveyor belt like device in Electron Avenue. So anyone who's played Crash Warped, I'm sure you're familiar with these double laser things. They sit in the air, they're floating, they charge up, and they shoot two beams of energy. These are also in a Teknee level. Again, taken from Electron Avenue. You have the floating laser shooter, and then it shoots two beams of energy. Yes, they're not red, but they're the same device. In Crash Warped, you have, again, the lab assistant androids, and they're in a little UFO that has like a tractor beam that will suck you up. on Assembly Lane, another level with the lab assistant androids, over there on the far left, you can see there is another device that sucks you into it. It's not quite the same because one's a tractor beam, one's magnetic based, I'm pretty sure, but they perform the same function. Again, in Crash Warped, you have this green device with arrows pointing in the direction it will shoot you. So if all the arrows are pointed towards the center, you get shot straight up. It gives you a boost of speed. So a green device with black arrows that gives you a boost, while not exclusively to these levels, the connection's crazy. It's green, it's arrows, it gives you a boost. And then these last connections are very iffy. It's just something that I saw that I wanted to point out. So in Crash Warped, you have these like elevator tubes that you can shoot up really fast into. And then here on Android Alley, you could see some of the buildings have what appear to be like tube-like structures. You never see anyone go shooting through them, like in the tiny battle on Crash Bandicoot 2. But it's just something that I wanted to point out because it could be a similar thing. And then this last one is a big stretch, I know. But again, I just wanted to point it out. So you have this missile shooting robot here. He's got a round head and he's got 2 big eyes. Yes, very generic. But I think it's worth mentioning because we're talking about Teknee. Android Alley has Geary billboards all throughout the level. So I'm not saying that that is Geary, because clearly that's not Geary, but it could be retconned, you know. They're based off the same production line or something. So that's almost everything I wanted to cover. There's just one last detail that I wanted to cover because I'm pretty sure the more knowledgeable Crash fans will bring this up as a debunking theory. This world map was taken from the official Naughty Dog website, and it appears to show that the futuristic levels are actually based on planet Earth. But I've never really taken this image as canon per se because it doesn't really match the other world maps that we have in the other Crash Bandicoot world maps. The other world maps actually show the locations of the levels themselves. This really feel like they just took all the different level styles and just mushed them all into one world map for cohesion. Again, you could use this as a way to debunk my video. I just wanted to bring it up because I wanted to be very transparent, not trying to hide anything. Crash Bandicoot 1, basically, you travel the entire map to go to the levels, and then Crash Bandicoot 2, you have the warp room, so you don't really know where the levels are set up, but then, again, on Naughty Dog's official website, they had a world map, and it actually shows where every level actually takes place once you warp to it, which to me, this map does not represent. So everyone, that's the theory. I believe Cortex has traveled to alien-like planets, set up his factories. I believe that Crash Warped is the first time that we actually experienced planet Teknee. And I hope you enjoyed this theory. If you have anything you'd like to mention that I've missed that helps back up my theory, please let me know in the comment section. If you think that this theory is awful, you know, it's your opinion, let me know. And as always, I appreciate the view and the comments and all that great stuff. So hopefully we'll see you in the next one, and you can join our band of crew. Take care.